Okay, by the way, it's my pleasure, my honor to be able to present Donald Trump with an award for the oldest police organization in the country, New York Veteran Police Association, number one. I just want to say we go back, when I say we go back, Donald and I've been having dialogue with Donald Trump's staff since June of last year. When Donald Trump decided to run for president of the United States, June 16th of 2015, July 4th, we had a board meeting, and we decided to back and support Donald Trump for president of the United States of America. We did that back, thank you. It's really a dual pleasure because we are the first. We're the first law enforcement association in the country, even before the Border Patrol, which I'm glad you got their endorsement. And if anyone knows about immigration, illegal immigration, it's the United States Border Patrol, and they endorsed Donald Trump. But I have to say this, we did it in July 4th of last year. I just want to touch on a few things. I know he runs all over the country, Donald Trump. I've been speaking with Donald Trump's campaign manager last year, Corey Lewandowski, and then the New York campaign person, Campbell Burr. I may speak, and as recent as this morning, we thank you for supporting Donald Trump. I want to set the record straight. It's our privilege and our honor. We thank you, Donald Trump. We thank you for devoting your time, your money, and a lot of energy, into running for president of the United States. Again, I just want to touch on some issues that are very dear to us, as many of us are, we say veterans. We're the veterans on the war on crime in this country. And no one knows more than Donald Trump how important law enforcement is. Obviously, he's a supporter of the military, the veterans, and law enforcement throughout the country. Immigration, illegal immigration, of course, is important to us because for years and years, many of us have been arresting illegal immigrants who are committing rape, robbery, murder, and so we are really touched by it. So we understand how important it is. Now, obviously, people say, well, your parents, or maybe your grandparents, or your great-grandparents, we all came from another country. But have we forgotten? There was a wall then. The wall was Ellis Island. Everybody that came, their parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents, they were screened And many of them were sent back. They didn't come over a fence, under a fence, through a hole in the fence, or from Islamic radical ISIS country. They came in the American way, and that's what Donald Trump represents, the American way, and that's why he has our complete support. And Donald Trump, not only do we thank you, we humbly thank you. At this time, I'd like to present, I'm going to say I'm taking advantage of calling him Donald.
You call me Donald.
Okay, like I can guarantee you this, next year we'll be calling him Mr. President. It's our pleasure, the New York Veteran Police Association, to present Donald J. Trump with the America's Finest Award. The award reads, for your dedication, your concern, and your support for America's law enforcement community. We know you will make America great again. And the year and the date, July 4th, 2015. That's when we endorse Donald Trump. Pleasure.
Well, I want to thank Lou and everybody. It's such an honor, and I heard about this, and I said, we have to do it, and we should do it on Staten Island if possible, right? Because we love Staten Island, and we love New York. This is just an amazing place. You know, we talked about New York values, and the other night I was talking about it. Actually, we have a sold-out house. The owner of the hotel just came up to see me, Lou, and he said this is the biggest, and his wife, there they are right there, said this is the biggest crowd we've ever had. And the hotel is lovely, and you've done a great job. Is this your all-time record crowd? Come on over here, Ron. I just want to prove it, because the press never believes anything I say, so you know. But I don't believe anything they say, so it's equal. Your biggest crowd, these people have done a fantastic job in putting on the event, and I want to thank you. Great hotel. Great hotel. Thank you very much. And later on, as you know, we're going to Poughkeepsie, and we have a big crowd there. We always seem to have big crowds, but we've been all over the state, and we've seen what's been happening with the state and with the country. Our jobs are being dissipated. They're being taken like candy from a baby, and they're going to Mexico. They're going to every place. And I guess today the top story on Drudge is China's upset with the fact that I'm talking about them negatively from a financial standpoint, that I mentioned the fact that they're ripping us off, and so I responded. I think you'll like actually the response. The response was the kind of response we should have been giving them for many, many years. So if you folks have any questions, but before you do that, I just want to say, you people have done an unbelievable job. And a lot of times you don't get the kind of acclaim or respect that you should be getting. And with me, you get it, but with the public, you do get it. You don't hear about it from the press. But with the public, you do get it. And we just want to thank you all, because we have a tremendous amount of respect for the work that you do. So Lou and everybody, thank you very much. Okay, questions? Yes, John?
Yesterday in Syracuse, you said that the Republican National Committee could be in for a, quote, rough July of this delegate selection season. What did you mean by rough July?
Well, it's a rigged election. Now, I'm winning by a lot, and a lot of people say, don't complain, you're winning. And I think we'll get there on the first ballot, actually, and we're going to have a big day, hopefully, in New York, because I love New York, and a guy like Cruz, you heard his statement on values, New York values, and I can't imagine any New Yorker voting for Cruz. And he can't beat Hillary. I'm going to beat Hillary. In fact, you notice her commercials came out there about me. They don't even talk about Cruz. She's only concerned about me. Now, Kasich is interesting. He's never had a negative commercial. Nobody's ever hit him. Nobody knows he's there. And so he does well. He does okay because nobody talks about him. With me, I think I saw on Fox, 55,000 negative ads. And despite that, I'm leading by a lot. But I think it's about the voters. It's not about the bosses. And I'm here to show that it's about the voters. And we're going to show that it's about the voters. And I win all the time when it's up to the voters. When it's up to the bosses, we didn't play in Colorado because I heard that it was going to be for the bosses, for the RNC, for the people. So I'm not going to waste a lot of money. Don't forget, I'm self-funding. So when I spend money, it's my money. It's not some PAC's money where people are giving it just because they want to have influence and they want their local politician or their politician to do what they want to do. So we didn't play there. We didn't play in Wyoming because the game was rigged. And I don't want to go 6-7 months before because that's what you have to do. Take them on trips, put them in hotel rooms, do the whole thing. I don't want to play that game. I'm winning with the voters, and we're winning big. And I think we'll get to the 1237. Well, I think the people that are for me, of which there are many millions, many millions of people have voted in our primaries. Many, and you'll see it tomorrow also. Many millions of people have voted more than voted 4 years ago. You know that. They came out for me. They didn't come out for Lion Ted Cruz. They didn't come out for Kasich. They don't know who Kasich is. Nobody does. They came out for me. And these are people that in many cases have never voted. These are very smart people, very, very strong people. And when they see what's going on. They see, as an example, the RNC said, we never changed the rules. Well, that's wrong. Because I announced on June 16th in, as you know, Colorado, and in August, they changed the rules in Colorado. I'm in June and August because they saw how well I would have done in Colorado. So they changed the rules. They changed the rules in Florida so that the winner gets all. They didn't know that I was going to win. That was a good one, Lou. They changed the rules because they thought Bush was going to win. Winner get all, except they had a problem. Trump won. I got all. So I got 99 delegates. But they didn't mean that to happen. It wasn't done for that reason. So sometimes you get lucky. But if you look at Wyoming, it's the same thing. But just so you understand, they kept saying, we didn't change the rules, we didn't touch the rules. They totally did. I came out in June. They saw I was going to win Colorado easily with the voters, which is most important. So they changed the rules, and they took the voters out of it. And they had the party bosses make the selection. So that's the way it goes. Okay, yeah, Katie. Because I don't want to play the rule game. I'll tell you why. Because we live in a democracy, and it's all about getting the bosses out. The bosses are picking that. Now, I'm winning. You will say, I'm winning by 200 delegates. I'm winning, more importantly, in my opinion, I'm winning by over 2 million votes. In other words, I've gotten more than 2 million votes. And other than the fact that I have 17 candidates starting, throughout the process, we had 17 then dropping out, I would be leading Hillary Clinton by millions and millions of votes. I heard her say during the debate, I have 1 million votes more than Donald Trump. She's got Bernie, a socialist, and I've got 17 governors, senators, guys like Ben Carson, who's fantastic. I have all these guys running. So I have 17 people. She's got 1. And if we didn't have 17, I'd be leading her by probably 4 million votes. Because you have to change. I'll tell you why. I understand the question. You have to change. It has to be changed. Now, it's not going to happen probably this time, although they're watching a lot closer. In fact, they announced they're not going to be making rules changes now because the public is really angry, and the Republicans are really angry. The voters are really angry. It's got to change. Now, in 4 years, it's going to change, so I've done something. In 4 years, it's going to change. It's not going to be this way in 4 years. But you're going to have a very, very upset and angry group of people at the convention. Now, I hope that doesn't happen because if I win, people are going to be very happy. Well, I hope it doesn't involve violence. I hope it doesn't. And I'm not suggesting that. I hope it doesn't involve violence. And I don't think it will. But I will say this. It's a rigged system. It's a crooked system. It's 100% crooked. The bosses, is that a correct? And these people know it better.
Absolutely.
It's a crooked. They're not here for this reason, to be honest. But this is, they understand law enforcement better than anybody else. It's a corrupt and crooked system where you're allowed to take delegates. Look, nobody has better toys than I do. I can put them in the best planes and bring them to the best resorts anywhere in the world. Doral, Mar-a-Lago. I can put them in the best places in the world. California, I have something that blows everything away. But it's a corrupt system. You're basically buying these people. You're basically saying, delegate, listen, we're going to send you to Mar-a-Lago on a Boeing 757. You're going to use the spa. You're going to this, you're going to that. We want your vote. That's a corrupt system. That has nothing to do with democracy. So here's the story. I'm winning by a lot. I think we're going to win the 1237. I think we're not going to have the second ballot. I just tell you, though, despite what I just said, it's a corrupt system and it's a rigged system. And I think for future years, the Republican Party should change. Okay?
July, you've warned that millions of people won't vote for a Republican in November if you don't get the nomination. It sounds like there's no scenario under which you would accept a vote at the convention that would make somebody other than you the nominee.
Well, I can't say that. I have to see how I'm treated and how these people... I'm representing many millions of people. You know, the Republican Party in the primaries are up 72%, which is astronomical. The Democrats are down 35%. I mean, you people, those are the numbers. An amazing thing has happened. The Republican Party, which people don't think of it in terms of going up, they think of it in terms of getting smaller, smaller, smaller every year. They're up 72% because voters are coming and voting. Some of them for the first time because they never had a candidate that they wanted to vote for. They're great people. They're great Americans. But it's up 72%. The Democrats are down 35%. And I'll tell you what, we're getting independents, we're getting Democrats to vote, and we're getting, to me, makes me very happy, people that have never voted before. And let me tell you, if you disenfranchise those people, you're going to have some very upset people. Yes, go ahead.
Would you accept a contested convention that would make somebody else the nominee? Would you rally the party to unite?
Jeremy, it's too early to say. I have to see. I have to see how it's handled, and I have to see what level of fairness these millions of people who I'm representing. You understand, I have far more votes than anybody, including Hillary, because I had 17 people. She had Bernie. Okay, Bernie. Oh, Bernie. Lou, you guys aren't big into socialism or communism, are you? I don't think you're going for a communist, are you, Lou? Okay. Go ahead back there.
We're in your home city of New York City where people know you the best. Why haven't you held a rally like you had?
Oh, I have. Excuse me. I had rallies, the biggest rallies in New York. We had 21,000 people in Albany. We had, well, I'm going up to Poughkeepsie in a little while. You know why? To be honest with you, because the polls are so good and so strong that I really want to focus on areas where they know me, but they don't know me as well. No, not at all. We've had virtually nothing. I'll tell you truthfully, the press doesn't cover it that way. And I've said it yesterday in a couple of days. The safest, I was in Watertown yesterday, we had tremendous crowds, and with tremendous crowds everywhere. Albany was unbelievable. We were in Rochester, unbelievable. Rome, our Rome, not the Rome that we think about. I think about our Rome. Rome, tremendous crowds. We have very little protesters, and every once in a while somebody raises their hand, they get ushered out. The safest places to be in this country, virtually, are at a Trump rally. Unfortunately, the press doesn't cover it that way. Yeah. Yeah, I know it very well, and I've had property on Staten Island. In fact, when I grew up during the summers, I used to work on Staten Island. My father had Grimes Hill. It was in the Grimes Hill section, which a couple of you folks know about, right? But the Grimes Hill section of Staten Island, which is really nice. And I love Staten Island and Tyson's Park. And I worked on Staten Island for 4 summers. I love it. It's a great piece. The greatest people. These people are incredible people. Well, you know, I just had stats done because I'm making a speech in a couple of minutes. And if you look at the number of jobs that are being lost, it's incredible. It's incredible. 25% of the manufacturing jobs, and I mean, it's an unbelievable stat. And you know, I noticed because before I go to every community, I do like a stat sheet. I have my people give me the stats. And they're all the same. Wage jobs, way down. Food stamps, way up. It's like they're almost interchangeable. The numbers are slightly different, but they're interchangeable. No, they have to have jobs. This country needs jobs. I noticed Ted Cruz the other day follows my line, jobs, jobs. Well, he never used to say that. He's saying it because I get the crowds and I'm getting the response, and he's not getting the voters. He gets the bosses, and I could get the bosses easier than him if I wanted them. I'm good with bosses. I'm the greatest with bosses. I just don't want them. I don't want them. It's not about that anymore. Yes, ma'am.
A lot of staffers recently to focus on the delegate
Yeah.
game. That's what the aim is now. What's the role now of your pre-existing staffers,
Still
like
here,
Mr.
very
Lewandowski?
good. Corey's right here.
What's his role
Did a
in the
good
campaign?
job. Totally exonerated from that bogus nonsense from somebody that made a bogus claim, who, by the way, if you look at the tape, it bore no relationship to what she said happened. And tell you, I really have a lot of respect for the people in Florida for looking at that fairly. I really do. I have great respect for the prosecutor and for the police for taking a look at that clip and realizing that she misrepresented. I have great respect for that. And he's good. That was a weight on his shoulder. I mean, I saw it had a huge impact on him with his family, and he's got 4 beautiful children and wonderful wife in New Hampshire. And I'll tell you what, that was a very unfair thing that happened to him. Very, very unfair. So I'll say it. Okay, do one more. Go. Oh, I don't want to talk about an old election. That's all I need to do. I don't want to talk. I'll tell you what, though. Voters to me are very important. Yes, go ahead. Did you have one? Want a surge operation?
Thousands of Syrian refugees get to 10,000 numbers.
They can't screen them. They have no documentation. You know, you can't screen a person with no documentation. They have no written documents whatsoever, so there's nothing you can do. Go ahead, one more. I have a lot of them. There's about 12. Go ahead. Nino's good. I'm going to come up with something on colleges because I'll tell you what, the biggest question I get are from young people that have gone to college, have done well, very good colleges, and they come to me and it's turmoil for them. They're loaded up with debt and they can't get a job. And I'm going to have policy on that very, very soon. And I'll tell you what, it's so important. It's such a big issue. I'll see you inside, folks. Thank you very much. And Lou, thank you and your group, most importantly.
Alright guys, thank you very much for joining us. Like it says on top, the other rally will start at 11:30 Eastern, so please come back to watch that rally. Thank you very much for tuning in. and choosing us as your stream of choice. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. We hope to see you here later on. Thank you very much. For now, I'm signing out.
Then I also heard the reason we're not doing big damage to the oil fields is because environmental protection. They don't want to do it because of no. And at first I said they're kidding, but now I heard that's real.